Okay, welcome back to the 32Boys1Cup semifinals. Spawning in the bottom right corner of the map, it's going to be our blue Terran player, leading the series 1-0, GumiHo.
The upper right is the red Zerg player. It's Samsung Galaxy Solar.
Okay, so I said it before we got into the game, I'll repeat it again. This map is going to be GumiHo's jam. I don't know that I've seen him play more comfortable on this map. We've seen him go take on players like Life, like Rogue, pretty much any Zerg player in Korea that you guys can think of. We've seen him win a game on this map against. There's just this weird, wonderful fourth sitting here waiting for GumiHo, and if Solar lets him turtle up, I mean, there's also the chance, before I get too far into this, GumiHo just decides to be really aggressive and not turtle up, but if GumiHo plays this style where he plays a little bit more passive, if he just takes that fourth at a comfortable time and gets starports up, he's going to have a much better time in the late game than Solar will, that's for sure.
Yeah. I was thinking on it last game, why Solar chose the build that he did. GumiHo, we're used to seeing him choose that build that he did. But Solar to me has never really been like, okay, he's definitely going to go Roach Hydra. I like him better with like Swarm Host and Muta against mech for sure. And I just think that even with mutas, they're not really supposed to end the game anymore. It really is a transition to and from, and it lasts a very long time. That Solar was looking for a faster way to win, or a more aggressive stance in a game that he was pretty sure was going to go to mech. Just because he is, what was it? Now is it 9-1 or 10-1?
I read some stat on Team Liquid. I have no idea if it's true or not, but yeah, someone said it was like, 1-9 versus GumiHo.
Yeah, exactly. So with that in mind, it's what happened was, of course, like GumiHo's Banshees did so much more damage, I think, than Solar was expecting, and that really sucks because this plan, the 1-1 Roach into the Roach Hydra can sometimes be like a 1-2 knockout punch, especially on Overgrowth. And the tank counter is low, and you just bop between the third and the natural. So I think it's going to be a lot more aware, of scouting, because he knew that Hellbats were on the way. He had Roaches in position. It was the Banshees that caught him by surprise.
Well, it's kind of funny you bring that up too, because I think most of the time, yeah, you're right. Sort of went Roaches because he thought mech was coming. He didn't bother going Zerglings because, of course, Banelings are useless. But ironically enough, had he gotten Zergling Baneling, he probably would have had a Mutalisk or a Spire down and maybe a couple of Mutas out, and perhaps those Banshees don't snowball so hard. But the timings for that are so early, and it's so hard to crank out a layer. And you're not going to see a lot of 2-base plays unless you're casting somebody like Cats, I guess. But yeah, it's not a fun situation we got in, that's for sure.
The other option, of course, is to, if you don't want to play out the long game, and Stormhost are always going to give you a long game no matter how good you are with them or how much you catch them by surprise, they're always going to either, fend them off and go on, or, just weakly go on, almost dying but never quite dying. The other option is, of course, to go for a 2-base layer, which can sometimes surprise your opponent, get that early edge that you need, and then you can actually snowball with mutas, as opposed to just transitioning into anything else. But it's become so easy to scout. It's become so easy to predict. Okay, I'm a mech player, you're a Zerg player, we know each other. Maybe you're gonna go for a 2-base. Let me keep checking your third. Oh God, what are you doing? You don't have a third yet. That it's it no longer oh, I don't have any Thors, I'm dead. That rarely happens.
Well, it's funny you say that too. Party was asking me when exactly he plays today. I was like, well, dude, it's gonna be after Solar GumiHo, so maybe it'll be fast, or maybe it'll be really long. I can't really. That's the problem when you do have a player that plays the style of mech. You can't really predict those games. Sometimes they are pretty quick, and sometimes they are quite extended, I suppose we'll call it.
Yeah. Of course, we have to note that GumiHo is not always a mech player. He's not a Villo. To bring that name up, but that's a bad example, right? But Bio is something that we're going to be surprised if he does it, really. He is good with it, though. He's actually great in it, and I think Deadwing is a map that he has done Bio on before, even though it is great for the 4-base mech, too.
Well, it's the armory coming down this quickly. I was a little bit deceived by this tech lab on the barracks.
I know, right?
Double armory too. Yeah.
Okay, so that's definitely, in fact, last game we could actually say is a little bit odd, is he only went for 1 armory, which kind of sounds weird, but GumiHo, his build, when he's, getting into his, mech jam, is usually double armory.
Double armory all the way. So it's just gonna be for the factory, of course. I was a little bit curious. Maybe that would have been actually for the starport. You know, Banshees did work out quite well last game, but looking to just get this second tech lab up on the factory. Now, this could either be for just straight up tanks. You get 1 or 2 defensively. Maybe you're a little bit worried about Solar all inning you after a game like that. Especially Scout no third still is a big deal for GumiHo. On the other hand, this could be something really weird like Blue Flame. I don't know. Like, there's gonna be walls up, but if you 4GG it up, so to speak, and just have like 100 Hellions with Blue Flame, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah. So adding in that Roach Warren, you know, a 2-base layer. Wait, what was in the main? Like a Reaper?
He did have a Reaper earlier. I'm pretty sure he got picked off though.
Okay, so it went into the main though, and it saw the lair. So that's a really great scout. Again, he's been checking the third, so he kind of figures fast lair. Or I wonder what that could be, but it's always nice to get that good scout. I don't think he saw the Spire though.
No, definitely did not. So we
Okay.
have Woodmines coming out, which are going to be nice. I think this is kind of precautionary because he doesn't know what's coming. Woodmines are nice, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay, if I get 6, they'll take care of whatever comes my way. But realistically, after this tank, he needs to start a Thor.
If he had seen a Baneling Nest rather than a Roach Warren at the front of Solar's base, it's almost like 100% it's going to be a Spire with that fast lair. But because it is a Roach Warren, he has no idea if it's going to be just like, 1-1, Speed Roach or Speed Roach, into Roach Hydra. And that is what Solar did last time, was do Roach Hydra. Got game and time just mixed together.
I was going to say that, or it was Australian. Like, last guy, mate. Anyways, bad accidents aside, so we do the Thor coming up. He's got a pretty good prediction of what's coming his way. I mean, when you do play mech, there's a giant hole in your defense. I kind of joked around earlier about, like, 2-base Muta, being a cat sort of build. Solar, not exactly fully 2-base here, just starts off with 2 and takes a slower third. As a consequence, the Mutas do come out much quicker, but will they be effective is the question. I've seen situations firsthand where players like Bly have been able to use 10 mutas to kill like upwards of 3 Thors because they come out 1 at a time. So right now, like 1 Thor is really not that much of an anti-muta force. It's the Thor fighting with the turret that makes such a big dynamic difference. Looks like Solar did just eat 2 Woodmines to the face. So now fully aware Woodmines are out. He's going to be checking for these a little bit more cautiously before just diving in.
An interesting follow-up is on the way. Rather than swarm hosts, we have the 1-1 Roach. So a different opener, different possibilities in the future as well. If he does see an opportunity to go for a muta transition, he can, as opposed to just going strictly into Roach Hydra. But it is going to be Roach, and I wonder if GumiHo is going to be prepared because of course he might. Worse mech players might get stuck on the idea of mutas. Better mech players see that you still only have 8 or however many that you got. So you're probably not going to get any more. God, how is he keep... Because he has no overload speed, that's why.
Oh no, God. Finish it!
Yeah, but I think GumiHo is going to recognize that he's going to need tanks more than he's going to need a lot of Thors.
Yeah, and the nice thing too is, like, Hellbats actually will buy you a lot of time. They're surprisingly robust, and even if it just means losing every single one of them to Roaches, they'll buy enough time for suddenly 3 more tanks to come out to get in better positions and whatnot, but... yeah, the Muta's just gonna start picking off what they can. There's really not that many. I kind of wish Solar would reinvest into at least 4 more or so. He's spending all his gas on Roaches, and I can't blame him. He's gonna need a big amount of Roaches, but at some point in the game, don't throw these all away, and they can continue to be quite nice harass units for the whole course of the game, not just here in the early game.
This is a very powerful push coming on a time where GumiHo has only 1 tank.
Yeah, actually, this is quite scary. Those Hellbats will see if they can buy the time that I described earlier. SCV's feeling desperate enough to be pulled into this. Looks like they're on repair mode, so they're kind of acting like medevacs more so than
believe it or not,
soakers.
The fact that the Thors are targeting the mutas did not help in this fight. Usually very good buff.
Yeah.
Not a bad one here.
This Unsiege tank actually bringing a lot of damage to the party. A lot of these virtues are incredibly low. Solar is going to win. This is going to be just barely. Let's not forget there's a couple Widowmines out, but where are they? Actually, no, there's only 1 left. The other ones got picked off by the mutas, I guess. So 20 SCVs go down through this. GumiHo's actually in a bit of trouble. And this is, again, this is his map.
I think he might just die. Yeah, I think he's going to die here.
Seashan does get a nice position here. Hellbats can probably hold up the ramp.
Yeah, he'll save his 2 bases. Does he have even know they all died?
He lifts them up. Okay, so small mistake there made, but he's going to scan ahead, see the extra bases. Now 4th, but realizes that 3rd's fully saturated. That's going to be games.